Dah, tengah
Okay.
record. Okay.
Okay. So kita tunggu yang lain. Lagi 5 minit. Boleh?
Boleh.
Okay. Boleh tak semua on video kejap nak tengok muka? Nampak Emilia je so far ni.
Diorang tengah get ready lah tu.
Everybody else, turn on your video. Hey guys, boleh buka video kejap tak? Okay, Khairul dalam kereta ke? Gimana?
Doktor beli breakfast.
What? Boleh ke dengar?
Boleh.
Pukul 9 ni baru nak breakfast. Pukul 9 dah nak breakfast ni. Korang semua ni final year ke? Ke ada yang bukan?
Rasa macam semua final year.
Nak cakap je lah, hari tu saya berdapat email. Firdaus, awak tak pakai baju ke apa? Saya dapat email, probably saya jadi LI coordinator kot. Tapi nanti saya confirm lah dengan jabatan.
Wah, okey doktor.
So, bila korang kena start, cari placement?
Kita orang tak tahu, doktor lah kena bagi tahu.
Ya Allah,
Ini
aku tak
doktor.
tahu.
Saya sokong
Besar.
Emilia.
So anyway, guys, yang ni tolong turn on video kejap, nak tengok je. Dia, connection dia boleh tak? Sebab saya nampak ada beberapa je ni. Okay, jangan lupa punch in Punch in pula. Apa nama tu?
Attendance.
Attendance. Alright. Lepas tu macam saya cakap, esok saya tak boleh bagi lecture. So saya ni lah. Saya upload lah. Saya dah record. semalam 15 minit je. Okay, sebab saya tahu kalau online ni 10 minit pun dah mengantuk kan.
Okay.
Lepas tu hari bulan pun, 4 hari bulan hari apa? Rabu minggu depan ni?
4 hari bulan.
4 hari. So 4 hari bulan pun tak boleh juga. So saya record jugalah boleh?
Boleh.
Okay, saya letak nombor 13 hari tu satu tu berjaya record, satu kita tak berjaya. So saya upload yang berjaya record je lah.
Kira.
Okay, dah berapa ni? Should we start? Okay, we aim for 20 minutes Selalu online lecture berapa lama? Memang 2 jam
Sejam.
Okay, so you go very fast, okay? So if you have any question, you can always ask me during the lecture or afterwards, okay? So sekejap saya cari. Note saya kat mana Nampak screen tak? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, ni yang semalam. Ini nombor 6. 5. Kan nombor 3 Okay, good morning everyone. Okay, you can always eat your breakfast or go to the toilet if you want. Okay, during the lecture. Okay. In fact, you can read this one yourself if you understand. So I'm just giving you a very brief and straightforward lecture today. Okay, today is the application of enzyme in food industry. Okay, so aplikasi lah senang apa yang awak boleh buat dengan enzyme dalam food industry lah. Alright. Okay, so the outline is global enzyme industry and main producers. Okay, second, driving forces. Driving forces can be, for example, sustainability, okay, green technology, maybe government grants, maybe because you are educated enough to use enzyme instead of other chemical reaction and so on. Factors that govern is actually about the same as driving forces. Sources, basically there are 3 sources, right? Ada tiga sumber kan. The first one is microorganism. This is the most common source lah. For example, you cultivate a genetically modified E. coli, okay, to produce enzyme. Second is plant. Okay, for example, apa contoh plant enzyme yang korang pernah dengar?
Papain.
Okay, to the common one lah. Papain is from apa tu? Papaya kan? Papaya apa petik kan? Okay, in fact, I think last semester ke 2 semester lepas ada one group using papain kan for beef tenderization. Lepas tu dia menang kan?
Yang bromelain tu.
Bromelain
Dan nice kan?
Nice. So group tu menang kan?
Oh, tak silap.
Ya, menang.
And then they went to, I think, another competition abroad ke? Is it in Malaysia?
Wah.
Dekat Thailand ke Melaka entah.
Lepas tu menang, dia macam ada dapat award something juga kan?
Boleh kot.
But too bad this year you guys dalam COVID lepas tu extend pula lagi 2 minggu ni, saya pun dah sangat kat rumah ni. So I guess there won't be an expo lah this year for you to do your product development demonstration, okay? So anyway, we also will go through some example. Apa dia?
Boleh,
Ada nak masuk
tak masuk.
Susah lah benda-benda ni. Kadang kelas pun dia masuk je. Sekejap. Tengok. Participant ke? Akilah Ada lagi tak? 28, kita dah 30 lebih kan?
Dah lah, tak bangun kot.
Tak bangun lagi?
Tak tahu.
Okay, so we just go through the outline again. Nanti Emilia tolong ingatkan kalau ada orang masuk. Boleh?
Boleh.
Okay. Examples, okay, this one we go very fast. Example tu macam peptine tadi. Lepas tu ada a few lah pectin and so on. Lepas tu general production methods is very simple. Immobilized enzyme will be tomorrow. But I will upload it today lah. If you want to watch it today, it's okay as well lah. Up to you lah. Okay, learning outcomes, can you read it by yourself? Boleh tak? LO baca sendiri
Boleh.
Okay. So the first one is why we use enzyme lah. First, because cleaner and green technology instead of using chemicals. Like I said to you last week, because we use too many chemicals, sometimes it can lead to contamination. For example, the river in Selangor is actually because we are dumping too much chemical. So all of us suffers lah, right? So if you use enzyme, this problem unlikely to happen because this one, they are easily degradable inside the water, right? Second is to transform raw material into more natural food or beverages. Okay, so if you use enzyme, it's actually, I would say, more natural lah than using chemical. For example, if you want to convert starch into fructose, if you use chemical reaction, people would have certain perception. They say, oh, this is unnatural. But if you use enzyme, it's more natural, right? The third one is to modify fruit macromolecules, means the big one, okay? For example, you can modify starch, okay, kanji, apa lagi, protein, you can modify fat, okay, into other constituents lah. For example, in this case, starch to glucose syrup, okay, or starch to fructose syrup. Pernah dengar kan high fructose syrup tu? Pernah dengar tak high fructose syrup?
Pernah.
Nah.
Okay. Usually we use in the food kan. So what happen is high fructose syrup tu kita tambah glucose isomerase, okay, so we convert dia punya starch tu kepada high fructose syrup, okay. Selalu manufacturer guna fructose ni sebab dia lagi manis lah daripada sucrose. So kalau lagi manis, lagi untung lah kepada manufacturer sebab awak guna sikit je berbanding awak guna glucose, awak guna banyak, okay, contohnya lah, alright. And then improve food by using enzymes as bioprocessing aid. For example, you can reduce lactose content in milk. Kenapa kena reduce lactose content? Tahu tak?
Sebab ada orang yang tak boleh consume lactose. Lactose intolerant.
Betul. Okay. Ada certain orang yang tak boleh consume lactose. Kalau tidak, bila dia consume, dia jadi bloating, dia sakit perut. So what we can do is, we can digest the lactose beforehand in the milk before we give the milk to that person, okay? Because lactose is not as important as the calcium. So as long as the milk contain calcium, tapi lactose kurang, minum je lah, alright? Other things, for example, if the food contain allergen, something yang boleh awak bagi jadi allergy lah, usually in the form of protein. So what we can do is, we can actually treat the food with enzyme first to digest the allergens. Okay? This one is usually been done by Dr. siapa? Dr. Rashidah. Tahu kan Dr. Rashidah? Dia ada buat research pasal susu kambing. Dia tengoklah allergen dalam tu. Okay, so probably in the future when they characterize the allergen, they can create an enzyme to digest the allergen. Okay. So this one is quite straightforward. Of course,
Doktor,
consumers.
sorry. Ada
masuk.
student.
Ke mana ni? Okay, Akilah
Yes.
Okay, Akilah, kita baru introduction je. So, kat mana? Okay, so this one is quite straightforward. Of course, you and I and common consumers, we all prefer natural ingredients. The problem is only natural ingredients can be expensive, okay? Macam awak pergi shopping dekat Tesco dengan apa tu? Jaya Grocer lah, Jaya Grocer. Pernah pergi Jaya Grocer tak? Siapa yang tak pernah pergi? Okay, nanti GLI, probably you guys go to Jaya Grocer. Okay, Jaya Grocer usually they sell product more expensive because certain range of their product is natural ingredient. Okay, so as you can see, if we do a survey in the purple purple circle ni, you can see all of us prefer not to have artificial flavors, artificial preservative, Semua artificial lah. Okay. Food in package with BPA ni apa yang menyebabkan kanser tu kan. The one that cause cancer. Okay. Many of us don't prefer GMO as well because GMO is actually artificial lah. We add something new into the organism. Okay. We don't prefer artificial sweeteners. We don't prefer MSG. So MSG bila tambah jadi macam artificial lah kan. Although all these things is actually probably lah is not actually healthy. Okay? Probably healthy. Tapi we still actually don't prefer something that is not natural. Okay. If you see the green bar, okay, the biggest percentage of consumer prefer all natural. Ni natural ni saya aja ni, okay, RAL, okay, okay, and then other of us prefer low sugar, low sodium, no artificial colors, no artificial flavors, and so on. Okay, so enzymes are being used in many industries. So because we are in food faculty, so we will take a look more on food lah, but actually, most of the application of enzymes happening in the food industry, okay, especially baking, brewing, fat and oil, and so on. Okay, pharmaceutical and healthcare is about the same. Okay, for example, one of the main application is in the molecular biotechnology. So what happen is, for example, if we need to do polymerase chain reaction, you know PCR. Pernah dengar PCR kan? Bila musim COVID ni. Ya guys, pernah dengar tak?
Benar.
Okay. So what happen is we amplify the DNA so that we can detect the presence of the virus. Okay. During the process of amplification, we need to add certain enzyme. Okay. Usually nucleases and also DNA related enzyme. Okay. For example, polymerase and so on. Others also important, for example, paper and pulp processing. Kertas yang kita guna ni, guna enzim juga untuk buat. Because paper, I think, actually comes from tree kan, pokok kan. So what happen is, we need to make this paper white in color. So we need to add certain enzyme to bleach the color. Also, paper contains cellulose. We need to digest the cellulose as well. Okay. Enzyme is also important, for example, in leather processing, like I told you last week, if you still remember, if you're not sleeping, right? Previously, we used dog feces, tahi anjing, because in tahi anjing contains proteases. But now, because we already have protease synthetically, so we can just add the protease without adding the dog feces. Okay. Also important in agriculture, okay, because enzymes can be used as biofertilizer, okay, and the most important part of agriculture is actually the animal feed, makanan haiwan, okay. Sebab bila kita bagi makanan haiwan ni, for example, kita bagi soybean ke, kita bagi gandum ke, the stomach of the animal, they are not as efficient as human. So we need to convert the food into something else first using enzyme so that they can digest most of the food, okay. So one of the main enzyme that we add in the animal feed is phytase. Siapa pernah dengar phytase? Pernah dengar tak? Semua dah tidur tu. Guys.
Pernah dengar.
Nah.
Apa function phytase?
Function dia lupa.
Okay. We know we have phytic acid kan dalam food. Phytic acid ni anti-nutrient. So what happen is, bila phytic acid in food, dia masuk dalam stomach of the animal, dia akan kurangkan penyerapan nutrient dalam perut animal. So we add phytase to get rid of the phytic acid. So the animal can absorb more of the food. Okay. Otherwise, most of the food will go out from the system dalam bentuk feces lah. And it will be wasted lah. Sebab tak semua animal akan makan tahi dia balik kan. Ada animal yang makan balik lah sebab contoh macam arnab kan dia makan tahi dia balik. Korang tahu tak? Arnab makan tahi dia balik.
Tikus pun sama kan?
Oh, saya tak tahu pula. Oh ya, tikus pun sama Okay, so janganlah makan tikus. Tapi memang tak makan tikus kan. But if you go to certain countries, especially in the poor countries, Vietnam ke apa, tikus ni one of their meal lah. Especially for the poor people. I just watched documentary yesterday. During COVID ni ramai orang miskin kan, so dia terpaksa dah makan tikus. Tapi ada tikus sana yang bersih lah, yang datang from sawah. Okay, so I guess you can eat them and they are bigger than here. Okay, but certain animal eat their feces again because their feces still contains nutrients. Okay, that is undigested in the stomach. Okay, so macam ada pemeningkatan 2-3 kali lah. Alright. So this is the example in baking. This is not in your lecture notes. I will upload a new one because the one that I gave you last week is not completed yet. But I just want to show you lah. There are many enzymes that are actually being used in baking. Okay, there are the 3 major enzymes. The first one is protease, lipase, and also carbohydrates. Yang gunakan carbohydrate. Okay, for example, amylase. They are all being used in baking, and there are all other enzymes as well. For example, cellulase being used to digest the cellulose. You also have other enzymes, for example, glucose oxidase. I think glucose oxidase is to prevent stalling. Apa? Yang bread masuk angin tu. Okay. And so on. Transferase and so on. So you can see there are many applications of enzymes in baking. Right? Example in agriculture, as I told you before, mostly are being used in biofertilizer and also animal feed. Yeah. Enzyme global market, as usual, we expect them to increase because one of the main reason is because the population of human is increasing. Second, rise in chronic diseases. Why? Kenapa rise in chronic diseases can cause the demand in enzyme to increase? Siapa tahu?
Sebab semua orang nak makan sihat.
Okay, one of it. Okay, saya pun tak terfikir, tapi betul lah tu. Okay, secondly because betul. Secondly because many diseases can be treated with enzyme lah. So enzymes can also be used in healthcare and pharmaceutical. Second factor the increase is wider application in various industries. Okay, as people more aware of the benefit of enzyme, so more industries will use them. Others maybe probably because the cost is cheaper because we produce more. Okay, can be people education. People is more aware of the benefit, like I told you before. Also probably what else? The government incentive. Okay, government give you grants to use enzyme. Okay, so that there are many more. There are other reasons that can be tied to the increase of demand of enzymes. Okay, the key players. One of the most famous one is Novozymes. Novozymes, we also have one office in Bukit Jalil. I went to Novozymes 2 years ago together with Professor Hasanah. DuPont is quite famous as well. BASF and others I never heard of them, but I guess they are pretty big. Alright. Okay, so this is one of the excerpt from the journal that I took and I put it here just to show you guys there are many industries that are involved in the production or the usage of enzyme. Okay, one of it is actually the production of biofuel. The last sentence, okay, we also use enzyme to convert the fat-based product into biofuel. For example, palm oil, we cannot burn them directly, right? We need to convert them to something else that is easier to burn using enzyme, okay, for the production of biofuel. Okay, so if you see the breakdown by sector, of course, food and beverages is the highest one, okay, because we use them in a lot of industries. I think one of the biggest one is beer and wine making industries, okay, because we use enzyme a lot. For example, we want to decolorize the grapes. Anggur tu color purple ke color apa, kita nak buang color dia, kita guna enzyme. Or kita nak produce juice from the fruits, kita add certain enzyme, for example pectinase. Okay, so kita lembutkan dulu and then baru kita senang nak extract dia punya juice. Okay. Other than that is fabric and household. For example, when we use detergent to wash our clothes, so we will use a lot of enzyme. Other than that can be diagnostic. Ada nak masuk lagi?
Ada orang nak masuk.
Okay. So disambung kat mana? Okay, pharmaceutical. As we see before, the rise in chronic disease can lead to the higher usage of enzyme. Okay, animal feed, one of the important ones, biofuel, and so on. Okay, so as you can see here, it says increase in household care is due to continued increase in laundry and dishwashing detergent. So when you wash your clothes, of course, you need all the enzymes to break the kotoran, apa tu? English, or the stain. Okay. For example, when you eat curry, the curry contains fat, carbohydrate, and protein. So you need to have all three enzymes to break your stain in the clothes when you wash the clothes. Okay. So you don't have to follow the traditional method anymore lah. Kan orang dulu pergi sungai dia pukul baju dekat batu kan. Lepas tu baju pun boleh koyak because dia kena guna physical force to break the stain. But nowadays, just using the enzyme, we can actually wash the stain away. Okay. As you can see, the demand for the food enzyme is always increasing. Okay. And others, they are pretty static, except for the animal feed. Okay. This one is, I think, most likely because there are more human population nowadays. So more human means more food, and also more animal that needs to be produced. Okay. While we are here, I probably suggest you guys to eat less animal product and eat more plant products, all right? Because animal product, one, they are less healthy, and also animal is not very good for the environment, especially the one that you, what we call it, bela, agriculture. And also the animal is not a very good conversion of nutrient. For example, you give animal 100% soil nutrient, but they can only convert about 50%. Okay, but of course, I like animal product as well. Okay, we can always try to have plant food in the future. Okay, the driving force. So this is from Professor Hasana. So she tends to leave some of the blanks, so we can probably fill in the blanks together. I think the first driving force is the history of safety use for enzyme. Second, alternative to chemical processes as it offers more yield, maybe better taste, better texture, okay, and it can offer better functionality, better protection from unwanted constituents. Okay? Because when you use chemical reaction, it actually can produce many byproducts that you don't want. Can be the only solution to food designer. For example, if you want to produce tempoyak or belacan, you cannot use chemical reaction. You need to use fermentation or enzyme to convert them to the food that you want. It can also be label friendly, so you can label all natural. It also has better conservation. Okay, so if you can reuse them many times, and also you have better, higher biodegradability. Means that if you release them in the water, they actually easier to biodegrade than using the chemicals. Okay, factors that govern the selection. The first one, that is the most important one, is of course the cost. So even though enzyme is very good and everything, but if the cost is high, most of the industries won't adapt the use of enzyme. Okay. Second is availability, means that it's easier for you to get the enzyme. So if the enzyme is very rare, very hard to get, for example, the process in Malaysia, you need to get it from Brazil, then no one want to use the enzyme anyway. Okay. The third one is technical support and services, means that there are people who knows about the enzyme, on how to use them, how to optimize them, and so on. Next, temperature requirement. This is actually related to cost because higher temperature will lead to higher cost. Okay. pH. Certain food have native pH that is not suitable for enzyme. Okay. All enzymes, they have certain pH that they can work on. So if this food is too acidic, but this enzyme needs alkaline pH to work, you cannot use the enzyme anyway. Next, recovery is actually related to cost as well. Can the enzyme be reused? If you cannot reuse the enzyme, you can use just one time, the cost will be expensive. Okay. Others, there are many other factors that you can think of. Like I said, probably education, also sustainability, government grants, and so on. Okay, you guys still okay?
Okay.
Okay, so if you guys feel, because online lectures can be sleepy, so you guys can always walk around. Okay, later you can come back and watch the online one that I will upload it in the Petrobras. Okay, like I said to you guys, there are 3 sources. The first one is microorganism, for example, E. coli, genetically modified microorganism, and so on. Second, plants, for example, papain just now. We can also get pectin and so on. And the last one is animal. What is the one most important animal enzyme that you can think of?
Like
Tahu tak? Siapa yang suka makan
Ren-
cheese?
rennet.
Rennet, okay? Which actually we can isolate, we can extract them from the stomach of the cow.
Camel. Cow.
Okay, but nowadays we're not taking the rennet from the animal anymore because it's too complicated. So what we can do is we can grow them in microorganism. Okay. Based on the type, market is fragmented into, I would say, the 3 most important one. The first one is carbohydrates, the one that is acting on carbohydrate. Okay. So this one can be cellulase, amylase, and so on. Proteases, the acting on the protein. The third one, most important one, tahu tak apa dia?
Lipase.
Lipase.
Okay, the third one is actually lipase. Okay, so the 3 major one, the first one is carbohydrates, second proteases, and the third one is lipases. Okay, and the others, I would say they are quite minor. Okay, for example, nucleases. What else? Usually something that is related to DNA lah. Okay, polymerase and so on. And there are also other minor types of the enzyme. So this is the example. We probably or 2 only. The first one you can see bacterial alpha amylase. So the name is actually for the cellulose hydrolysase. You can hydrolyze cellulose. It can also be used as detergent to degrade the stain. Okay, you can see rennet from calf stomach. I think calf is the young cow. It's not the mother or father cow. Okay, so it's actually being used for cheese making, and also you try to coagulate the milk, okay, to produce the cheese. Okay, you can see others, for example, papain from papaya to tenderize the meat or to brewing. I'm not sure how papain can be used for brewing, but I know they can be used for meat tenderization. Okay, pepsin for the protein and so on. Okay, you read yourself, the others, they are quite straightforward. Okay, as you can see, the future for the global enzymes market, we already have a very big market for protease, carbohydrates, and lipase. But the highest growth potential is actually for the other type of enzyme, which is polymerase and nucleases, especially during the COVID times nowadays, because we need more of this enzyme type to actually conduct the tests for PCR and molecular biology. Okay, so they have the highest growth potential, and they can be very expensive as well. So the main producer of this enzyme can have a lot of profit because of the price. Okay, enzyme gene therapy of medicine. As I said to you, the rise in chronic disease can actually increase the demand of enzyme because some of them can be used in therapy and medicine. For example, for anti-thrombosis. So when your blood is clotting and it's stuck in your blood vessel, so you can use this enzyme urokinase to liquefy them, to make them unstuck. Okay, Or you can use collagenase for the wound debridement, means that you're cleaning the wound. Because when you are wounded, your body will produce a lot of collagen. So you can use collagenase to clean the wound. Digestive aids, for example, if that person, they have lack of certain enzyme, for example, lipase, protease or something, you can use the digestive aid to help them, to help the digestion. Some of people, they actually don't have certain enzymes in the body, so you can put the enzyme in the body in the process we call as enzyme replacement. Okay, this is the example of the enzyme. Okay, some enzyme can also be used as anti-inflammatory factors, for example, chymotrypsin. So in your body, when there is an immune reaction that leads to the inflammation, most of the inflammatory molecules, they are protein. So you can use the enzyme that can degrade protein. You can also use enzyme for anti-tumor treatment. Okay, I think because certain tumor, they need certain what we call amino acid that can be produced by the normal cell but cannot be produced by the tumor cell. So you can use this enzyme to actually degrade this amino acid in the body so the tumor cannot survive. And there are also other usage as well. So you can see here, you can, okay, this one, you can use digestive aid, digestive formula. I'm not sure about the papaya and the pineapple, but I think this is for certain type of chronic disease in the body. I'm not sure. Okay. As you can see here, the human body, we start from the mouth, amylase, and then we go to the stomach. I think this is the picture of burger. Okay, and eventually it will lead to small intestine, and finally you will excrete them. And all of this involve enzyme in the body. So if you lack certain of this enzyme, you can take the digestive aids. Okay, you can even buy them from Lazada or something. Okay, as you can see here, the price is not that expensive. Okay, enzyme is also being used in personal care product, for example, cosmetic and toiletries. For example, enzyme is being used in shampoos and conditioner. Okay, because some of you guys probably have oily hair. So in the shampoo, they can add lipase to break the oil in your hair. Okay. For cream and mask, probably you have your skin, the cell is in the form of protein. So you can add certain proteases to actually remove the dead cells on your skin, okay, and so on. Okay, this is the example of the skincare. Dr. Murad used gentle enzyme exfoliants to help remove dead cells. Okay, for example, you use the protease. Okay, the same. You can use the enzyme in the face wash. Okay. So for enzyme production, it is actually quite simple. This is just an overview. Okay, if you grow the enzyme in the cell or microorganism, you can disrupt or break the cell first if the enzyme is inside the cell, and then you get the crude extract, and then you can get rid of the solid or waste. This one can be done by centrifugation and so on, and then you get the clear extract that contains the enzyme, and then you can purify the enzyme. The same is for the cell culture as well. This one, if you grow the animal cell inside the petri dish, okay. First, you separate them. Okay, separation, you can use some certain kind of enzyme as well, and then you remove the cell debris, and then eventually you can purify the enzyme. Okay, I think that's all for today. You guys have any question? I changed to how to stop share. Okay, I changed to this one first. Okay, you guys are still here. Can I see your face one more time so I know that you are here? Okay, can you guys turn on the camera?
Doktor,
Okay, dah sengih daripada tadi. Apa dia?
saya tak boleh buka.
Apa? Frida, sebenarnya baju awak colour skin Patut saya ingat tak pakai baju. Tak apalah, kita kat video call ni penting muka kita je kan. Kat bawah tak perlu benda. Okay. So Hafiza nampak, Tam, Bahia. Siapa yang nampak kepala je ni? Nampak rambut je. Arif. Arif yang pakai spek ni Arif, bawah sikit kamera. Betul lah yang pakai spek ni, saya ingat ni. Okay, Maliza, you are from Indonesia ke Maliza?
Yes, doctor.
So you're not here?
I'm in Indonesia right now.
Okay, all the best. I hope you can come next semester.
Yeah, I hope
Nina?
so.
Nina ni macam ada 2 orang je dalam ni. Okay, Malina, sama je muka. Emeline, Erna. Okay, Farah pun nampak mata je, tapi okey lah, saya dah kenal awak kan. Awak jadi student, okay. Syafia, okay, pipi dah sama dengan tudung dah, okay. Ngengkoy, Izzian, Nat, Hani, okay, Shikin, Supik. Okay guys, so I think that's all. For the next lecture, you guys can refer to Putra Blast. Okay, so if there is no question, I will end the presentation here.
Okay. Thank you, Doctor.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you.
Doctor.